And so,
And
so
isn't that something in
yeah,
itself? Because it's like here you are, you're ready to drop seeds of, positivity, inspiration, motivation, and all of that. But if the soil is not ready to receive that seed, it's
yes,
like it's putting a seed on concrete. It does it's
mhm,
not gonna
it does.
work. So there's
Exactly.
this whole preparation aspect to leadership. It's great for you to be a great leader, but like you mentioned, is the team. How do you connect that leadership? Or and this is where the word influence kicks in, right?
Hmm.
Where how do you influence this team to receive what it is or that vision that you want to share with them so that they
Yes.
can take it, receive it, and run with it?
Oh, absolutely. You have to get that soil soft before you can plant the seed because they weren't ready. And and part of that aspect was because they were so used to one type of leader, and not only one
Mhm.
type, one person. And so if the whole culture had been dependent upon one person, not even their leadership style, but them as an individual, that culture was not prepped to receive somebody else to allow that former leader to take on a greater level of responsibility. And so in more detail, I'll say it this way: the superintendent started that school that she
Mhm.
hired me for to be the principal. She had a principal prior to me, but it didn't work out. It was too much conflict between that principal and the staff. And so that principal got tired of it and left. And the
Mhm.
superintendent was very honest with me and said, the last principal had problems with the staff
Mhm.
and left. And she was very honest and very transparent and said, the school is like my baby. I started it. And so I came in thinking, okay, I know that there was conflict before. So I need to come in and do my best to connect, let them get to know me, water this ground, get it soft, till it, not try to do anything drastic, don't try to make any changes, just be there for them, support them, do all the things they say you should do as a servant leader, which by the way has become a buzzword. And so
That's it.
yeah, and so I'm thinking I come in, I serve, and you know they they eventually accept me and we'll be good, and they'll accept me, we'll be good. Now the superintendent can focus on leading the
Mhm.
multiple schools that she's in charge of
Exactly.
now versus focusing on the one that she started herself. And so because it was holding her back as well. And so
Yeah,
I'm
you can't accomplish anything if you're still within it. As
yeah,
leaders, a lot of times you have to be the one over it, not always,
yes.
always. I mean, it's good to go in it here and there, but you can't. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen, but if you're in it, it's impossible.
Right. You can't have an eagle view when you are in the thick of it all the time. And so
Hmm.
you have to be able to delegate and have a team of leaders who can be in the thick, but then also allow you to go in and out and
Exactly.
provide you the perspective and information that you need. And so in that situation, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go in there and it's gonna be great. I'm gonna rock it out. She believed in me. Let's do it.
Yeah, I
And
see that happening.
but it didn't work out that way because no matter how much I tried to water, it's like they weren't prepared to let go of the superintendent. They want to keep pulling her back in because they had the relationship and because she was comfortable. But then also, just like true education fashion, sometimes educators mimic behavior of their students. They saw that if I behaved this way, I drove one away. So let me see if
Hmm.
this was going to run away too. And so it was a lot, it was a tough environment. It was very tough. And
But I'm sure you learned, it made you, a battle tested type of leader, right?
oh
It
yes.
strengthened you, and the word growth, I'm sure, is to be appreciated now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It definitely battle tested me, and it helped me to learn certain things. It helped me to really really learn how to grow myself, because I felt during that time, to be honest, I felt like a failure as a leader. I felt
Mm,
deflated. I felt defeated. I questioned, should I be leading? Because it just wasn't jiving. It seemed like no matter what I did,
mm,
they didn't respond. And that's part of the thing that helped me to learn. One, I shouldn't put expectations on people to develop me more than I take
exactly.
development into my own hands. And so
So
with
it's very
yeah,
important for that for a leader. Exactly. It says there is a lot of personal growth to leadership.
yes,
Being in just a business aspect or a work aspect, yeah, that part you get the training, or
hmm
you get to live these principles of what it calls to connect to a leader. But a leader still is a person, and
yes,
so that person has to grow into that leader that they're looking to be or to become.
yes, yes. You grow into your leadership, and
Hmm.
the challenge of being of personal growth as a leader is you are growing in front of your people who think you should already have arrived. And so they think you should be at a certain place automatically because you're in the position, not knowing that you have to grow into it. And no matter how many times you've led before and how many different scenarios, each scenario is different and you have to grow into each scenario. And so yeah, I learned some valuable lessons there. And then I went to public school. So I had some challenges there. And when I felt defeated as a leader, but still, because I'm a fighter. I don't believe in giving up. I'm a champion. I'm like, we gonna keep going.
We're gonna keep going. Keep.
We gonna keep going. This thing is gonna give. It's gonna break. And so
Somebody's gonna break. Something's gonna break.
right, I'm like, this thing got to move. So so halfway through the next school year, my superintendent comes and tells me she had a another leader that wasn't performing, and she wanted me to go turn around this other school.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, why me? And she just honestly said, this other place is like a clean slate. And I'm looking at you, I'm looking at that situation. I think you're a perfect match. They're craving
Wow.
for what you have. So I was like, okay. So I get moved to this other school, which was a blessing because I
Mm.
got there and it was like I found my mojo back. Every bit of defeat that I was trying to push off of me was became a non-factor once I got to that next school,
Mm.
because it was exactly like she said. They were craving structure and the leadership and vision that I could bring. And within half a year,
Wonderful.
the school was
Is
turned
but
around.
like you said, they were craving it. It's
Yes,
as they say, the teacher will show up when the student is
when it's
ready,
ready.
right? And
Yes.
that environment was so fertile and ready to receive. And I'm sure a
Mhm.
lot of the things that you learned in the previous location.
Yes. And that soil was ready. And I was able, like you just said, I took the lessons from the previous location, I took the model from the previous location, and I was able to implement and duplicate it there and was
Mm,
successful at it. And so I was like, yes, we're in this thing. And then after that, I was there for a short period of time, and then I went to public school, the traditional public school. My thought
mm,
was, I'm spending all this time in a charter, and I was doing leadership stuff on the side, like seminars and things. But I was like, I'm building these non-traditional schools, and I'm putting in a lot of work, like it's like, because you have to brand it. I had to go promote the school, brand the school, and I was doing everything. And I said, let me
really,
skip.
really
Yeah.
putting that culture. It's the culture. It's putting a
Yes.
culture of leadership, a culture of excellence But the beautiful thing is, as you mentioned, they were seeking this. They wanted this. So that had to be a
Yeah.
refreshing feel for as a leader.
Oh yes. Oh my God. It was like drinking a fresh cup of cold water on a hot day. It was like, whew, it was great. And so I ended up after that going to a traditional public school, which was larger. This public school serviced 950 students. And I went in as an assistant principal. Now, one of the things they asked me, they said, well, how do you feel as a leader? You've led schools, you've had success here, had success there. How do you come in as an assistant? I said, easy. I come in there, I do what the principal asks. I can anticipate what the principal may need because I've been one, and I handle business. And I
Hmm.
and I rejoice in the fact that I get to have a month off in the summer, which I didn't have before. I mean, it was
That's a big.
right. It was real easy because when you know how to lead, you know how to follow. And so I knew how to submit to someone's leadership without trying to
Hmm.
compete or trying to say I could do it better. I focused on really just being an asset. I'm like, okay, I know what it's like to be a principal. I know the challenges. I know the pressure. I know the amount of work. So I don't have to be told what to do. So I'm just going to go in there. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make life easy for this
Hmm.
principal because this situation is making life easier for me. And so I just,
You know what? One thing that you shared, and I apologize for cutting you off, but
no, go ahead. Go
being
ahead.
a leader is being a unifier. So you don't
Yes.
have to compete. You're on the
Right.
same team. You're on the
Exactly.
same team. So you a lot of times you will have leaders, but some are dividers, and some.
Hmm.
But what's really needed is a leader that's a unifier, and that's what you've done. You went
Yes.
onto a team and you became part of the team. Let's see how we win together. Let's see how to get this vision on the table and make it turn into reality. And that's what
Yes.
a leader is. But that's a true leader.
Absolutely.